Yeah, hi. And I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT, and you completed one of my integrated speaking practice tests.
According to reading passage, the technology for producing nuclear reactors roll uranium into lowly enriched,
No. We need a beginning of your response. You need an introduction. You're moving to the information in the reading passage without giving us context. So what I would do is in the beginning, say something like this. Say the reading passage discusses the dangers of nuclear energy, and the listening passage gives an example to illustrate those dangers or risks. So if you do that, then we kind of know what the purpose of the reading and the listening passage is first, and then you can move to the main points in the reading passage like you're doing now.
According to reading passage, the technology for producing nuclear reactors roll uranium into lowly enriched, highly enriched, and
But even when you're talking about the reading there, you're starting with a detail. That's not a good idea. Start off with more of a general idea. Say, first of all, the reading passage discusses the risks of nuclear energy by, and then you start getting into your details like you're doing now.
Brought uranium. The International Energy Agency monitors use of nuclear. The IAEA...
They monitor the use of nuclear material, I would say, or they monitor the use of enriched uranium to see what countries are doing with it.
Promotion the safeguard, but their safeguards have shortcomings. They can't detect.
Have shortcomings, I would say, or they have limitations, if you want to express it that way.
Or probably diversions of nuclear material. According to listening passage.
But you're still not getting the main point. The main point of the reading passage is this. The International Atomic Energy Agency is having difficulty monitoring what countries are doing with their nuclear energy. Are they using it for weapons? Are they using it to produce energy? That is the key that you didn't really get out of the reading. Now, it seems to me that I've noticed that you seem to have some trouble with reading comprehension. You're not able to always get the most important points out of reading, or you actually get the opposite of what those points are. So I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but I think that you probably need to improve your vocabulary. As you improve your vocabulary, you will definitely improve your reading comprehension. So for you, I'd recommend 2 basic things right now, which I think are very, very important for you. I think on the one hand, you need to improve your vocabulary. That means that you want to work in vocabulary lesson number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. That's going to be important because as you increase your knowledge of those vocabulary words, it'll be much easier for you when you're reading. Now, on the other hand, I also recommend that you work in the reading part of my course. I have a great reading section in my online course. I encourage you to go through those reading lessons and build your reading comprehension. So you want to work on, I think, increasing your reading speed and also getting more familiar with reading and answering questions about academic reading passages. So if you can make improvements in those 2 areas, vocabulary and reading, I think that you could improve your overall language abilities.
It is an example of the master's nuclear on April 26, 1980.
No, you're not able to really explain the ideas in the listening passage accurately. What is the purpose of the listening and how does it relate to the information in the reading? So you could say this: the listening passage gives an example to illustrate the risks of nuclear energy by talking about the Chernobyl radioactive accident in Russia. I would say it's something like that, and that way you state the main purpose, I think, of the listening passage, and then you tie the information back to the reading passage.
18.6. There have a worst nuclear accident in Chernobyl. 13 people was killed. The fallout from the explosion over.
You would say they were killed from the fallout, So you're missing a lot of those grammatical words when you're speaking. Words like prepositions and articles, you're not putting those words into the sentences that you speak. It's giving you kind of what I call a telegraphic speech. What is that? You kind of speak like this: I go store yesterday. Instead of saying, I am going to the store yesterday, you just say, I go store yesterday. So that puts you at lower level English speaking abilities. You have to make sure that you're using all of the words in the sentence that you speak so that it's grammatical and it sounds more native speaker-like.
1,400 miles, thousands of cancer died. The accident hurt.
Thousands of cancer died. No, thousands of people died because of radioactive exposure, or thousands of people died of cancer because of the radioactivity exposure. So again, you're not putting all of the important ideas into your speaking.
Hurt the former Soviet Union's economy.
Again, you're not really explaining that idea completely. If you listen to the lecture, it's saying that this one radioactive accident, this nuclear accident, it caused more damage economically than all of the money generated over the last 50 years with the nuclear program in Russia. It was the costliest accident ever in the Soviet Union. All right, let's take a look at it. So what do we know now? We know many things here. We know with delivery, you're having some problems with your pronunciation, and specifically one area I think you can make improvements in is your intonation. That's pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. Write these down. You're going to forget what I'm saying, right? So I think you should improve your pronunciation. But that's not the biggest area. The biggest issue, in my opinion, is language use, really. You're having problems with topic development, but the big problem is you don't have the vocabulary to explain the ideas from the reading passage and the lecture, and your grammar limitations are preventing you from fully explaining those ideas. That's really the big issue, and this is not easily solved. I'm going to be honest with you. So you have to ask yourself, what can you do right now to begin making improvements with your language use? I gave you the suggestion in the video. You need to work in vocabulary lesson number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. You need to work on learning those words first. Also, you can work in the reading part of my course on developing your reading comprehension. In addition to that, make sure each day you're spending time reading on a daily basis. I recommend read magazines, newspapers, and books. You guys in level 6 are not as busy as other students, so you have more time to do this extra practice. I also recommend that you watch movies each week in English where you can get more exposure to the language. And most importantly, make sure you're speaking English every day. It's very easy to try to speak in your own language. Don't do that. It's important for you to learn English if you want to continue to improve your language use abilities of American English. All right? So this one, you just had a lot of trouble in this one. I'm going to put you at about 2.0 out of 4. This is going to put you at 15 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, if you go into the syllabus and you look at 2.0 out of 4, that's going to put you at 70% on this practice test. All right, now by the way, this is the most difficult practice test I have on my website. I told you that it's very, very hard. So you got the hard one done. We still have 2 more. We have another integrated speaking practice test. It's listening, speaking, casual. It'll be pretty easy. Then we have the last one, which is listening, speaking, academic, and you will find this one very challenging. So I'm preparing you now. It's going to be hard. So remember, vocabulary and reading improvement. If you can do that, it will help you to write and speak at a higher level of proficiency.